Hey, what's going on, guys? It is finally June, and June is my absolute favorite month to target walleyes here in northern Wisconsin. Now, as far as presentations, my number one go-to in June, anywhere I fish where there's good structure that's holding those walleyes in an area like those green weeds or those rock piles, is a slip bobber. A slip bobber and a leech is absolutely amazing for walleyes the whole month of June. And my basic setup is just a nice long rod, 7 foot to 8 foot rod, so you got control of that slip bobber. This is the St. Croix Slip and Rig Icon series. It's designed for basically rigging and slip flow fishing, and the long rod helps you just control that float a little bit better with that longer leader on there, and gives you a nice bow in the rod to hold those fish once you hook them. And my main line, I'll use either monofilament or braid. I'm going to put my little knot in my bead and my float. Then I'm going to put a little sliding 1/8 ounce sinker on there, a swivel, and then my 6 or 8 pound leader here. And I'll either tie that to a jig if I want a little more control and get that bait right down below the float right away, or oftentimes if I'm fishing really clear water, I'm going to use a sinker and a number 6 or 8 octopus hook, and that is a little bit more stealthy presentation. It floats around in the water a little bit more. So those are my two slip float rigs that I'll use in June. And if there's too many panfish, they're picking off my leeches, I'll often go with a minnow. So I'll use a large fathead or a smaller sucker minnow, and that kind of keeps those panfish off of it, and that really works well. Sometimes they like minnows better than leeches, but oftentimes leeches are the real key, and you want to get the biggest leeches you possibly can. Now, moving on to method number 2, that's jigging. This is one of the best times of the year to pitch jigs up shallow in those weeds, on those rocks, wherever. And you can either use a live minnow, which is a great option if they're finicky, but I really like to throw a jig in a plastic, whether that's a paddle tail or a straight tail worm, a curly tail worm. And I'm just gonna pitch that out along structure and cover ground. It's a great way to fish through an area where you know there's walleyes scattered around weed patches or in an inside turn or on a expansive flat. You can just cover ground, pitch it out there and jig it back and just keep moving along, and it's a great way to catch walleyes in June. Now, my number three technique is going to be actually trolling. Trolling works great, especially morning and evening, and you can cover tons of ground, like when those fish are on the flats. Anytime there's a big area that you want to cover, get those crankbaits diving down about 10 feet and just cover ground. And you don't even need boards this time of year, especially in darker water, stained water, morning and evening, low light conditions. You can just put one rod out each side and one out the back, get some crankbaits that dive about 10 feet, and you can catch walleyes all day. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll leave another video right here. Make sure you subscribe. Thanks again. Get hooked up.